can see here's the length of the steel augers. Here's my foot. So, I don't know what the hell these are. 4 feet, more than 4 feet. You screw these in the ground that long, they're probably going to be stronger than, plus two of them are going to be holding one corner. You can see how thick this stuff is. It's like an inch. That should hold it. I don't need the guidelines, but I won't need them, but they're going to stay on there anyway. Okay, that one's screwed in. I'm starting to screw this one in. It's only in a few inches. But you know, if the rebar is too bendy, man, all you got to do is get some freaking, I don't know, 1.5 by 1 inch or 1.5 inch pure steel rod. Between that and that, and actually you could dig out from this a little bit. Maybe like, see, this is already going down probably about, geez, good 3.5 feet. You can dig down about 1.5 feet and put concrete over it. So that can make this corner stronger than original. Actually, this will work out just fine. Not just like as this, but all you got to do is get some 80-pound bags of concrete. Maybe dig down there about 1 foot, and that rod goes all the way down to there. So if this is all like concreted in, you know, about, I don't know, 5 inches thick, it's going to keep everything a lot more solid. And then if I ever have to take the flagpole down, I just only have to bust up that type part of the concrete. Plus it's welded down there. So the other thing is, I'm going to save the end of this bolt I cut off because it was like bending over. That's the only way I can get the flagpole lowered. And I'll probably just keep it under here because the plastic cover is going over this. And right now it's drizzling out, so I'm going to stop doing this stuff. I'll coat this with some kind of rust proofing. And even this, it's not as strong right now. It's not as strong as the bolt itself because that rebar will bend. But considering the rebar is longer like that, if it was just attached there, it would bend easier. It's still got some, I don't know, probably a few 100 pounds of force on that right there. That helps. But when I concrete everything in, it's going to cause it where this is not going to be able to bend. You know, it's going to be a combination of concrete and rebar, plus it's going to be concreted in there, which will also be, I'll truck bed line this and tar this, concrete up this, because this is this post, right? So it'll probably be stronger than the original setup. And then just put the dirt over it and you'll never even know it's there. You'll never even know anything. So that was only like $50 for all that crap. Plus I got to do the concrete, so that's not too bad. You know, that could have been worse. Could have dropped a pole or something. Good. Anyway. And I drove by the road. It's very visible. You could see it from back there. You could see it over the house. You could see it, you know, the whole way. So it's pretty good. Remember, I got all the anchor lines. You see, you can barely see them now. And from the road, you don't see them at all because the fence is blocking them. I got all those anchor lines there. Painted them truck bed lining. That's anchor rope. I got 2 in each corner, plus 3 on the side where the bolt was busted. Plus the bolt, that's actually welded too. So this should be a lot stronger than the original. Of course, if I didn't bend that over, I would have been saving myself a lot of work, but whatever. And you see that little wraparound there from, if you literally look for it, but you know what it appears to be? It appears to be the halyard. It's the same size rope, so it doesn't look for it screwed up because the fence is all blocking it. It's two fences. So, and put this junk away. Looks pretty solid, man. Looks pretty solid. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Okay, so we got 3 more bags, 80-pound bags of concrete on 2x4. That'll reinforce that corner. Get some more of that later. All right, painted the steel rods with zinc paint. Prop, coat, barnacle barrier. Freaking stuff is pretty damn rust-proof and stuff for sure. So, then we're gonna concrete it. Okay, so I put 4,000 psi concrete over it. All this is 4,000 psi. It only required 3,000. So the rebar is strong, but it could flex, right? It could flex, although probably not that easily, because where the hinge point would be is those 3 foot long, or 3.5, 4 foot. I think they're 3.5, 4 feet. They're more than 3 feet long augers that go into the ground. So that part would push down. But when you're putting the concrete over it, what it's doing is causing the rebar not to flex. So it's probably stronger than the original corner, because these augers that go into the ground 3.5, 4 feet, even though they're into regular dirt's got about a good percentage strength. Compacted sand has a good percentage strength of concrete. It's got most of the strength of concrete, believe it or not. Plus, instead of them being in a foot like these hooks are, where the bolts are, they're in 3.5 feet. Plus, there's 2 of them being used to secure that corner. Plus, the corner is welded. Plus, we got the guidelines. And no way is this thing going to screw up. Leaving the guidelines up. I was going to leave the guidelines up there no matter what. If you notice this fence around here, that blocks almost all of them except the top foot. But you don't see them because they're painted black. Believe it or not, when you look at them from 50 feet away, you don't see them because of the angle of the fence and all that. You just don't see them. So, flag's not flying right now. It was. I'll show you a little clip where it was flying through the trees. The two trees look kind of cool. But I'm almost, and the other thing is, this thing is going to have a support this way, not with that piece of wood, but with this piece of wood. I'm waiting for it to dry. I truck bed lined it. This part's going in the ground. I want to wait for this thing to dry, paint up a little spot I missed there. So it'll be an angle like that. Then I'll get the other 3 bags of concrete this in. And then this post will be double secured, because that anchor point is very strong because it's a corner post. You see that, right? It's very strong because it's a corner post. That one is pulling this way too, right? It's also a very strong post. And this post is strong as crap. So even though this post is pretty strong with an angle base, this thing's going to be, I'm not going to leave the flag up during a hurricane anyway, because even though the pole and this flag, the pole will take it, the flag itself will get ripped. So should be good to go for a number of years. And there's a little cover that goes around the bottom of there. I'll also touch up the rest of this cord. Make sure it's all black. But like you notice, like, I mean, look at it. Like, look at it. You see what I mean? Like, usually when you're looking at it from the road, you're seeing this part and there's trees in the background. It's like you barely see that freaking, you don't really see that. And when you're looking at it from an angle like this, you know, because this is a little bit higher, it's like you're only seeing about a tiny part of that. You got to really look for it. You don't even notice it. I'd rather leave it up there, but we got to touch it up a little bit more. But and then all this sand will come over. I'll do this Monday because I'm waiting for this thing to dry, and I probably got to touch it up a little more. But that's a wrap. That corner is probably stronger than, well, it's going to be with the rest of the concrete on there. But right now, it's probably already stronger than the original setup. The bolt that goes in the ground into the concrete only goes in there a foot. Concrete goes down like 4 feet, and you know, I got rebar and all that crap. But when you're adding 2 3.5 foot deep or 4 feet deep augers just to secure that one corner, plus the weld, plus the concrete, I don't need these ropes, but they're staying up there. I don't need them at all. They're staying up there. So I got them on all the flagpoles. You know, some of them are on this. I'll show you what I got. It's not flying right now, but do you see the ropes? No, only when you're inside that little fenced-in area. See what I mean? Black paracord on this one, which is not flying right now, the forest flag. Now, if you look back there, you can see them just barely, but you see from this angle, they're going against, the black ropes are going against the brown roof of, there it is, see? You barely notice them. I mean, I got this all zoomed in. See what I mean? You don't notice them. But then, you know, they're not lit up. That's all lit up on the top. So, I'm leaving them up there. And you see the one you can you can barely see on the other flag. See? I got this zoomed in all the way. It's like standing, I mean, if you're back like this, do you see them? No. You know, if you're back, this is all the way back, do you see them now? See what I mean? So, no big deal. Here we go, flag blowing through the trees there. You're looking at it through the trees, that is. There's Bonnie Blue below it, you can see it a little bit.